The Edcon Board has approved the structure of the proposed recapitalisation plan. Let's take you back now to Devin Murragan, who has the latest on the story.
Thanks very much, Gareth. And that plan, by the way, in response to lenders have extended waivers. So lenders have extended their waivers to allow time for implementation of that restructure. There have been fears of massive job cuts, as we said. Well, Edcon CEO Grant Pattison joins us now via Skype. Grant Pattison, thanks very much indeed for your time. So I guess the big question is what's in the plan of restructuring and how far does it go to this purpose of recovery and saving jobs?
Yes, thank you, and thank you for having me on. It's a very exciting day for us. We've been working on this plan now for a year. Those of you who have been following the story will know that I said we needed to complete a deal before Christmas, and here we are a few days before Christmas. The board met on Monday. They considered the proposal made by over 250, including 250 companies, and they approved the way forward. That was a really important point in time that allowed our lenders, who are also part of the plan and are going to convert their debt to equity, to extend the deadlines that they have on the repayment of that debt to allow us a few months to implement the deal.
So, I mean, obviously you're saying in your statement that details are very thin at the moment, but can you tell us how far or what components of that restructuring plan goes to the recovery here, Grant Pattison?
Yeah, so really it's half the story. The business needs to convert its debt to equity, make sure it's got enough capital, i.e. cash in it, to operate for the next few years, not just the next few months as we've been doing recently. This allows management and employees to be able to concentrate not so much on the security of the business, but to concentrate on customers and restoring the customer confidence in the business. That's the one half of the story. Of course, the other half of the story is the board has also approved the business plan, and that business plan talks to how about management is going to improve the product quality, change the structures of the company such that we can focus more on servicing customers and improving our offerings. In celebration of that, if I can add, we're launching a bunch of specials in Jet, Edgars and CNA this weekend, starting today.
And I suppose when you launch these specials, you'll bear in mind that Edcon has been struggling with brand purpose. I mean, you had stores within stores, you had brands within brands. Some commentators saying that, it was a confusing mess. The feeling is that executives just didn't know their markets. Would you agree?
I think that's all the criticism aimed at Edcon has been fair. We brought in a bunch of international brands. We moved our stores around. We made them noisy and cluttery. Our offering became confused, and I think we lost connection with our core customer, who's a middle-income family generally, as well as individuals who are going to, in a short time, become part of a family or who are, have empty nesters. So, we lost that focus on that customer. Really what we're doing now is concentrating on the Edgars brand, the Jet brand, and the CNA brand. Those of you who know the business will know in the past we've had many more brands, and we think that focus will enable us, as well as our focus on buying local product, will enable us to restore our connection with the customer.
Were you behind the curve in terms of online shopping?
Yes, I think we were. We really went fully online about 2 years ago. Our online offering is adequate, not leading edge. But I would say, though, that I don't think the online component is yet the component that has been responsible for our poor performance. However, I do think the rate at which online trade is growing at the moment is that it is going to be our challenge in the next 4 or 5 years to make sure we up our game and stay with the best in the world.
You say this plan has been being put together for over a few months now. And then when one looks at that time period, just going years back, do you not think Edgars perhaps hastily jumped into opening stores which really never took off? I mean, one store that comes in mind is Melrose Arch, for example. You walk in there, it really has been deserted for ages. So decisions like that have been under question, haven't it?
Absolutely. We opened far too much space. I wasn't around at the time, so I can't exactly explain why we're doing that. We We had an Eastgate expansion from 10,000 to 14,000 square meters. We committed to an extra 14,000 square meters at Four Ways. We opened a Rosebank store that was too large. I think you're exactly right. We opened stores that were too big. And part of the plan could be described as slimming down. First of all, making sure we don't have too many stores in each market, and also making sure that those stores are just slightly smaller so that our trading densities are higher.
Where are you with CNA? I mean, here's another store that people have been saying, well, do you really need this in your book?
Yeah, so I'm a believer in CNA. Let me just tell you why. CNA did lose its way. It used to be a stationery store and an education store, and then it got distracted in other categories like music and books and DVDs and gaming and electronics. What we've done is we've pulled the business back. It's now taglined your favorite stationery store, and we also are the market leaders in educational books, i.e. study guides and nonfiction. And so we're going to focus on what we're good at. I think if you think about it, where else can you buy stationery? What other national chain sells stationery in education? There's not a lot of choice. I think CNA is a very important component of South Africans' lives.
Grant Pattison, are you getting a bonus this year?
Absolutely not. As I said, in fact, whilst all of our stakeholders are contributing to the recapitalisation program, I've in fact agreed to take a pay cut to show my commitment to turning the business around.
I'm just wondering how the potential 40,000 jobs that could be on the line will sort of digest that news. In the plan, where are we with those 40,000 potential job cuts?
Yeah, so what we've managed to do by putting together this recapitalisation is we've managed to avoid a very large shrink in the number of stores. We'd either go out of business and we'd have lost all the stores, or we would have lost half the stores. So we've managed to avoid that. The business will slim down. It's actually been slimming down for the past year. We're probably down space over the past 2 years of 10%. But what we've done, working with the unions and working with the staff, is when we do shut down a store, we give our staff the opportunity to transfer into one of their surrounding stores. Customers will know that we've probably cut our staff levels in our store too much. Our service has declined as a result of that. So we are intending and maintaining our staff levels whilst slimming down the business, and then but thereby improving the service in the remaining stores.
And just a final question here. Exactly which employees or staff members here are under threat, Mr. Pattison?
Well, at the moment, there aren't any staff members under threat as we sit here today. We have come up with a recapitalisation. We have found all the support, and so all of our staff can enjoy a Christmas where they've got confidence that they're going to be working for a business that's not only going to survive, but is also going to thrive into the future.
CEO of Edcon, Grant Pattison, speaking to us via Skype. Thanks very much indeed for your time.